Hello, everybody. Today we're very happy, very glad to have our friend Ayah Muhammad Razif and also Mr. Fidaus from TNB, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, one of our very close partner in BINA, our Rebuilding SMEs Future Together program that we have been running since end of last year in reaching out to SMEs and micro businesses to help them to rebuild their businesses during this period. And at this point of time, while we are still talking on the 21st of July, 2021, which this podcast will be aired in August, we are still in the middle of pandemic. The numbers are still very high. We are all still working from home, except both of them who are from essential service, definitely. We need them outside. So really thank you so much for joining us, Razif and Fidaus. And before we start, I would like to take this opportunity to thank TNB again for supporting BINA since early of this year. And they have been one roadshow with us in Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri HQ in PJ. We have reached out to SMEs to see how we can help them, especially in terms of understanding on how to save their money, in terms of how does TNB play a part as well in supporting this journey to rebuild the SMEs. Before we start, Razif and Mr. Fidaus, how was your day? How's everything? Everything good so far?
So far, so good because EMCO for us are already lifted. So at least we can do a little bit of exercise within the neighborhood compound. So that's most important to keep ourselves in check and to keep what you say, keep our sanity in check, something like that.
Yep, likewise, I'm in an excellent condition right now. I just got my second dose of vaccine last Monday. So far there is no bad side effects. Really good. Feeling great. So hopefully everyone can also get their vaccination soon.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Razif and Fidaus. This is a very important message before we go into the topic today. We hope all Malaysians get their vaccinations as soon as possible. I personally have already gotten my first dose. I will get my second dose in early August. Hopefully everything will be okay. Same, I also agree with Razif that we need to stay sane. We need to go out for some sports and get ourselves, because I've lost 30 kg over the past 6 months. Yes, I lost 30 kg. So, but because of all this EMCO, I'm not able to go out. So again, a little bit, one and two. And hopefully at this point of time, we will do better. All right. So I think today's discussion is actually about how TNB plays a very important role in rebuilding the businesses. I think you've seen the news, how many businesses has been closed down, how many businesses has suffered badly, closed down, or even shut down partially, temporarily, or permanently. And I think you also see some brands that has been there for many years, up to 10 years, 20 years, and they still cannot sustain during this period of time. So I think it's something that is very worth to see how TNB actually plays a part. Because in my mind, and maybe in a lot of our listeners' mind, TNB is where it comes about electricity bill, right? It comes about, every month I just have to talk to TNB. But I think TNB is beyond that. And I have the opportunity to work with TNB for the past 2 years. You are just beyond a utility company. I think this is where Razif and Fidaus will share with us. Before we go to the question, Razif and Fidaus, maybe you want to share with us what do you do in TNB?
For me, I've been working for the past 19 years with TNB. I've started in various divisions, serving in Malaysia and in Saudi Arabia as well. And I had my stint in Sabah for 2 years as well before coming back to Semenanjung. Basically, I have an experience in power plants, contract management, power and desalination plant. Basically, this is during my stint in Saudi Arabia, where we are operating and maintaining the biggest water desalination plant in the world during that particular time, converting seawater into potable water for people to drink, because over there they don't have the source of clean water people to use. My background is mechanical engineering, but for the past few years I've been diving into contracts, into legals, and now I'm more into business development and marketing. Over to
Very
you.
interesting role from engineering now into business development and marketing. So just for your information, Raziv is a certified engineer, right? We call it IR Raziv, so it's certified engineer. That's how we usually term it, right?
Yep, correct.
All right.
Basically, nothing much about the title. You can put aside the title, but it's all about how we carry the title. Be it you have doctors or AR in front of your name, and that doesn't mean anything if you don't carry it well.
Yes, of course, I agree with you. But having the title, it means that you have certain, credibility, which we must also respect. Fidaus, so what do you do in TNB?
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Lawrence. Basically, I'm not directly under TNB. I'm actually working for a subsidiary of TNB called Maybe. So it's a new subsidiary. We were established in 2018. Similar to Raziv, I was also a qualified engineer by training, but I've been doing a lot of things in maybe just a small startup, TNB startups. So we are doing business in smart home, the technology side of the industry, especially in smart homes and energy management system. Like I said, I was, just like Raziv, I was once an engineer, and now I'm doing a business development for Mavis Nemhat.
Very interesting. Maybe I would like to share. Maybe you can share with us a bit more about Maybe later on. But I think we have two professionals here today with us. So let's just jump into the very crucial question here. And I think I've seen over the past 2 years. I think while we are talking about this, while we are speaking about this topic, we are actually almost 500 days in reaching our since we started MCO. So I think it's something that wow, 500 days just go off like this, So I think this is a very crucial question that a lot of our business owners would like to know, right? So in this current challenging time, I've seen some of the initiatives that has been done by TNB as well, including electricity discounts and etc. But there are still people saying that more need to be done. Still insufficient. I still can't sustain. I still can't do this. I still can't do that. So based on the observations, what are actually some of the real challenges? Maybe there are certain things that we don't realize, right? Maybe it's not just as easy as, it could be just as easy as turning off the aircon if you're not using it. But other than that, what are some of the challenges that is faced by businesses when it comes to actually saving their energy?
Okay, thank you, Dato, for the questions. Okay, this is, I think, beginning for the hard questions to come. Basically, when we observe, we study regarding the values and needs, I wouldn't call it challenges by the SMEs. But we take it more as values and needs, and to a certain extent, the desire of the SMEs in Malaysia. We found three crucial elements that being okay. The nature of SMEs, especially the small and micro SMEs, is that they have less manpowers working for them. So they want convenience. So in terms of electricity, they want convenience in terms of monitoring, in terms of paying their bills, simple things that to make things easy for them. For example, instead of going to selected kedai tenagas to pay their bills monthly or to check regarding any problems that they are facing with their electricity supplies, okay? So they want convenience in terms of if they can do everything on their fingertips, on their mobile phones, on their laptops, computers, and so on. So this is one of the significant values and needs that is very close to SMEs in Malaysia. Okay, so we are going to address that regarding the convenience, and then number two regarding the control. Okay, basically they want to have total control in terms of their electricity usage, how they can optimize their bills, how can they detect any leakages in terms of electricity consumptions and whatnot. So in terms of control, how TNB as electricity provider can assist them in terms of making electricity visible for them. As we know that electricity currently is not visible. We can't see electricity. Sometimes during the during floods, you see certain cases people got electrocuted. Why? Because they cannot see the electricity. So our objective now in coming back to the values and needs of the SME is for them to be able to control their electricity usage. How they want to control? For them to be able to monitor. How to monitor? There are devices for them to monitor, which they are not aware. Maybe some of it are aware. There are certain devices for monitoring of their electricity usage in terms of aircons, in terms of their makers, for example. But they are not aware how this thing can help them optimize their electricity bills or electricity consumptions. And then number 3, I don't want to take a lot of things. I take only 3 elements regarding the bottom lines. Okay, how convenience and control elements can have a significant impact of their bottom line. So how, by having convenience, by having control of their electricity usage, they can save. Okay, it might be small, for example, but if you sum it up in terms of convenience and control, it can contribute to a certain percentage of savings for certain SMEs. And for SMEs, especially the micros and small SMEs, any saving is good enough for them because they can use this portion of savings to grow their businesses. Because being SME is all about growing their businesses. And of course, now it's not only about growing, about staying relevant to their business, especially during these challenging economic situations. So by having convenience, by not having to go to kedai tenagas, wasting their times, they can monitor their electricity, they can pay their electricity, they can do any inquiries regarding their electricity consumption online. Okay, regarding control, okay, they can get monitoring system so they can see what they need to be done with their equipments at their factories, at their shops, in order for them to optimize their electricity bills. And these 2 elements, when combined together, can translate into savings. Okay, that's 3 elements we can see. Now, answering your questions regarding this pandemic, how this SME has been doing so far. Okay, based on the data that we have for the past 2 months, we see that the SME, in terms of their ability to pay bills, we can say that it's not that bad. Okay, where we can see regarding the medium and small businesses, they are still managed to fulfill their obligations. But from the data, we see that micro businesses have a slight issues regarding fulfilling their obligations in terms of electricity bill payment. Okay, from our data, we can see that roughly more than 160,000 of micro businesses has not been paying their electricity bill for more than 60 days of the past due date. Meaning to say, they have problems, and we are going to tackle this problem on case-to-case basis. As much as possible, as a GLC, we want to help the SME because to us, SME is the driver, the growth driver of the Malaysian economy. Okay, that's how we can see. And then from here also we can see regarding the power factor surcharge is impacting not only micro businesses but medium and small businesses as well. Okay. The worst part is when we do surveys, the SMEs doesn't even know why they are impacted with the power factor, or we call it PF surcharge, or in layman's term we call penalty. For example, they are paying 1,000 ringgit per month in terms of total electricity bills, and sometimes 20% of it is only PF surcharge or the penalty, and they didn't even notice it. So please, SMEs, check your bills. If there is power factor surcharge imposed, on you, okay, you need to get it checked. Okay, I will explain later, in depth later regarding the impact of power factor surcharge, how you can get power factor surcharge in the first place, and the most important thing, like, how you can manage this thing and make these charges go away. As simple as that. All right, thank you.
So exactly, I wanted to ask about this surcharge, but since you already mentioned that you will explain this later, I think this is something that the listeners would like to understand. What do you mean by that surcharge? Which I think later on we will come back to that. So I think it's very interesting to see the three main concept about convenience, control, bottom line. And in fact, by collaborating with TNB, we just realized that they have this TNB retail team. This monitoring device is most probably under this category, right? Am I correct?
Yes. My colleague Frida will explain more regarding the monitoring system.
Sure. So I see. This is the thing that I think a lot of people fail to understand about TNB, and I don't think they know about this. That you have a separate division that helps to do this. So as a GLC, like you mentioned, you actually gave some of the ideas of what are some of the initiatives that has been done by TNB to help to ease the burden, be it with micro businesses or SMEs. I think you already did some explanation just now. So maybe Fidaus, do you want to add on that? What are some of the initiatives that you think has also been done that you want to add on in helping actually to rebuild this SME's future?
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, exactly. So to ease the burden of SMEs, especially during this pandemic and its future challenges, TNB actually has been proactively promoting awareness on energy management and energy efficiencies to SMEs. For example, this series of webinar that we are having with BINA today. So this is one of the initiatives that TNB is taken place to promote this awareness, to create awareness amongst SMEs. On top of that, making your energy efficiently, does not only lower your electricity cost, but it will actually also boosting your profitability and giving a positive impact on the environment. Kan, so bukan sahaja kita dapat kurangkan kita punya electricity bills, kita juga boleh improve kita punya productivity, improve profitability kita, keuntungan kita, and at the same time we are also helping the environment because we are now using less energy, we are releasing less carbon dioxide to the environment. So yes, that will definitely also improve our lifestyle, our living condition. That's all from me.
Dato', if I may add what my colleague Firdaus has been saying, okay,
Sure.
what he has been saying is anchoring back to the three elements that we focus on SME just now. So what Firdaus is answering just now regarding the initiative on TNB to ease the burden of SME is actually tackling on the monitoring part. Okay. So we also want to address people regarding convenience part. This is where the apps or web portal My TNB comes in. Okay. Until today, My TNB have 4.4 million users with 1.9 active users. In excess of 1 million users are registered in Selangor for the time being. Okay. Of course, to the uninitiated, what did My TNB do? Okay, My TNB is an app and web portal where you don't only have the ability to pay your electricity bills, because this can be done through any other payment platforms like Maybank to Use, FBClicks, FPX, you name it. But at the same, this is one-stop center where you can view your bills. If you are the owner of the premises or if you are the tenant of the premises and you registered your accounts in My TNB, using My TNB, you can view your bills for the past 6 months. Okay, online. Number one. And then number two, you can see the trendings, whether it's stagnant, increasing or decreasing. So you can do self-profiling. my electricity consumption is increasing. I should do something about it. This is very close to SME, okay, regarding convenience and monitoring. Number three, with this, they don't have to go to TNB to get all the informations.
Exactly.
All the informations are on their fingertips.
Yeah.
They can do their own analysis. They can do their lodge complaints or inquiries through my TNB.
Sure.
And it is recorded, and they can easily monitor how these complaints, inquiries are being managed online. Okay? Easier. Don't have to go to Kedai Tenaga, take numbers, time consuming. Okay, you need to find parkings. This is cost also to them. And then with web portal, my TNB also you can do change of tenancy easy because some of SMEs tend to move because they sewa tempat kan.
Correct.
Okay. So when they rent the places, they want to change the tenancy because they want to have more controls, or even this is part of the tenancy agreements.
Correct.
With the owner, they have to change the electricity punya bills to their names. So change of tenancy, they don't have to go to Kedai Tenaga. It can be done through my TNB web portal.
I didn't know. Okay.
This is something new. A lot more things can be done through my TNB, whether through apps or web portal. Okay, please, SMEs, explore my TNB. This is the platform built by TNB for you.
For you, right. Thank you so much. Just now you mentioned about 4.4 million users. Are they the SME users or in whole, in total?
As a whole, because until now we have slightly less than 10 million registered customers. Okay. Registered customers include, we have all 8 segments, okay? 3 residential segments, be it mass residential. Okay, I have to refer this. Basically, I can't remember all. Okay,
Sure.
getting residentials, we have mass, high value residentials, and VIP. And then regarding businesses, we have government and local authorities, emerging business, medium businesses, small businesses, and micro businesses as well. So we have 8 segments that contribute to, if I'm not mistaken, 9.2 million registered customers under TNB.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So, do you have a data of how many people has actually utilized your MyTNB from 9.2 million? Roughly, what is the adoption rate of people actually already on board with MyTNB, or they're still going manual at the moment?
Okay. At the back of my hand, currently we have out of 9.2 million customers, we have 4.4 million registered users. So we can say that the adoption as of June is 4.4 million.
About 50%. That's very good.
More or less 50%.
Yeah.
And then regarding the retention or active users, we have slightly less than 2 million users. Active meaning to say they do transactions using the apps, they make inquiries using the apps, they view download their bills using the apps. So basically, with the MyTNB, you actually don't have to wait for your monthly bills to be read and to be delivered by our meter readers.
That's very interesting. So I hope that the listeners here today, if they are not onto the MyTNB app yet, or onto the portal yet, please sign up. In fact, My Printers and School Live, we already did this about a few months back. Actually, in fact, my team is doing it, not me. I only do it for my own home. So I think, yes, like you said, I can see the chart and the graphs on a daily basis. So we will just take one last question before we go for a short break. So I think you have actually mentioned some of the initiatives, like you mentioned, the monitoring devices in terms of convenience, control, and then the bottom line is actually to save the energy. And now that you also have already introduced MyTNB portal that is built for you, what are some of the common mistakes? Right? I think this question is something quite interesting that businesses may have commit. What are some of the things that you think that is a myth or even mistakes or things that they have not done correctly when it comes to the term of energy consumption? What do you think is some of the very common mistakes or things that they didn't do properly?
On SME per se, we can say that we notice that again, this is coming back to their manpowers, coming back to their focus, coming back to their desires, values, and needs. We foresee that SME, if I can say this, they don't care much about their electricity consumption, about how they consume electricity. Okay, they get their bills. Okay, they know sometimes their bill is high, but I have to pay this. Okay, without actually checking what can I do in order to optimize my electricity bills. Okay, this went back to regarding the PF surcharge. Why PF surcharge is being imposed to them? Okay, under the electricity supply agreement, all of us have signed electricity supply agreement when we take supply from TNB, be it for our house, for our business, and everything. They ask, we need to maintain a certain level of power factor in taking in electricity supply. This is not imposed to residential, but more on commercial and industrial customers. Okay, for low voltage and medium voltage, you need to maintain your power factor of 0.85 and above, in order for you not to be imposed the PF surcharge or power factor surcharge. For high voltage users, it even more. Okay, but this doesn't concern SME. Just for knowledge, it is even higher, 0.9 and above. The reason why? Because we want you to use the real power. Okay, we don't want you to waste the power unnecessarily. Okay, why this power factor surcharge can happen to you? Number one, you don't have capacitor bank installed. Okay, after a certain voltage taken from the grid, you need to have capacitor banks in order to maintain your power factor to be 0.85 and above. Okay, and at the same time, you also need, this is within SME's control. You need to maintain your equipment on a regular basis. For example, aircons, compressors, chillers, even sometimes bread makers, heaters. Okay, this equipment, if not maintained well, okay, it will affect their efficiencies. When their efficiencies is low, it will affect the power factors, the powers that you consume from the grid. Okay. So when your equipment is less efficient, it will have impact on your power that you draw from the electricity, which will impact your power factor readings as a whole. So simple things that SME can take control is that check your equipment, maintain your equipment regularly in order for them not to be imposed power factors. And at the same time, you can also install capacitor bank if your power factor penalty is high enough.
Yep, I agree with Gerardi here, but to add into that, basically in general, what we notice is that the lack of awareness itself. Most of SMEs they like Razi mentioned that they at the end of the month they just pay their electricity bill. They don't really try to look into the details of where the energy or the electricity actually went to. So I would say that the common things. No, I will not really say that it's a mistake, but but basically the lack of awareness on energy management on within the SME itself that is actually contributing to the high consumption of electricity or the PF surcharge, for example, right? So what does it mean with by energy management? Is actually energy management is actually a proactive, organized, systematic management of energy use to ensure that energy is used optimally. So this is the issue that most SMEs happening to most of SMEs. They don't aware or they don't know how to that they can actually improve or optimize their energy use. this involves a simple initiative as just monitoring, their electricity bills every month, through my TNB portals or through the bill that they receive from TNB, or they can even actually monitor all the way down to individual equipment in real time, so that to understand their energy performance better, and with that information that they have, they can actually optimize it and improve the performance. Uh, this initiative itself, could actually help them, by monitoring the electricity, could actually help SMEs to get as much as 5% or up to 10% saving easily, from just being able to monitor their energy consumption. So which is why the awareness on energy management is very important. Most SMEs actually they have no ideas on the distribution of their energy consumption. They don't know where their energy goes, which area or which floor of the building or equipment that consume the most of their electricity. So having the ability to monitor, to track this will actually help them a lot in managing their consumption.
I think this is a very interesting topic about awareness, right? But this is something after I listened to both explanation, it's actually not something. It's actually the same word. Like now, the government is actually asking the businesses, SMEs, to digitize their business, right? They want to go digitalization. It's a very easy word, but it's easy to be seen, but it's not easy to be done, right?
Yes.
So same goes to this kind of awareness on energy consumption, which part, like you said, maintaining the equipments and etc. So does TNB do advisory services to SMEs or to businesses when it comes to particularly this part? Because not everybody has an engineer, most probably, or whoever in the company. So are they able to walk to you all, speak to you all about this in regards to awareness and educational and even consultation? Let's put it this way.
Yes, when we talk regarding the consultation, awareness, and advice, yes, of course, it can be done. Focusing more on the services that we TNB can provide to the SMEs in assisting them to manage these issues, be it in terms of convenience, monitoring, as well as bottom line. Yes, we have that. For example, energy efficiency as a whole, okay, where we manage the usage of their aircons, the usage of the lighting retrofittings, and at the same time, we install energy monitoring systems for them. Okay, so this is where we can come in not only as electricity provider, what we also can go beyond that, where we provide services beyond, we call it beyond kilowatt hour, where we assist the SME in optimizing their electricity consumptions, take control of their electricity consumptions, and at the same time, if the scheme is feasible enough for the SME, we invest for them to change their equipments to more efficient equipments, to more state-of-the-art equipment, and at the same time, they can enjoy the savings of electricity by upgrading and changing their equipments.
So where will people can go to if they need this kind of consultation, they need this kind of advisory? Where do they actually go to? I mean, I don't think you want them to call the hotline or something, right? So
No.
where do they actually get to when they need this kind of services?
Okay, normally this is initiative that we are doing, what you say, not on a big scale for the past 5 years, but during this pandemic, we see this is required more than ever. We see the SME need to pivot their businesses, need to shift their businesses in order to stay afloat, in order to stay relevant in the markets and everything. So now, we can say that they can walk to any of 120 kedai tenagas all over Malaysia.
Okay.
inquire to our customer service officers regarding that. The most is our customer service officers will take on their details and then they will channel it to my departments. Okay, we will contact them back. We of course we need to understand their values, needs, issues, desires. What do customers actually want, and we can customize the solution for them. It's all about customers. What do they want actually?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think,
Yes.
just to add to that, we are also actually doing a proactive measure by because we have the data of the energy consumption of the SMEs of the of everyone in Malaysia. So what we are doing is also we try to approach these our customers and try to promote on what solutions that we have so that they can together benefit from it.
I think that's very interesting. I think again, to a lot of our listeners out there, when this podcast is up on air on our YouTube portal, please go to Kedah Tenaga if you need assistance, you need advisory. The customer service officers will be there to help you to get your questions and then to pass it on to the right department. But you see, again, the same topic that I mentioned just now, right? You see, companies are asked to digitize their business. Digitalization, easy to be heard again, not easy to be done. There's the part, advisory, teachings, guiding, consultation. TNB is already doing it. We already gave an option to the business people. They can just walk into Kedai Tenaga. So now the next golden question about this is about investment, money, right? Again, in a lot of people's head, this is a very difficult time. When I need to digitize my business, I need to spend a lot of money. Now when it comes to this energy consumption, when it comes to technology, I need to get monitoring devices or etc. etc. So will all this actually heading towards that to become an energy efficient company? How can they do it without actually needing to spend mountains of money and has a big dent in their own cash flow?
All right. I will start the answer with this. SMEs out there, we hear you. So when we say we hear you, this is the reason why we have My TNB apps and web portal built by us for you. And it's free. If someone wants to register your company on My TNB apps or web portal and they are asking for money, okay, lodge a report. The portal, the apps is free for you. Okay, that's one thing in going towards digitalization. Okay, you can view your bills, you can view your consumption anytime, any day on your fingertips for free. Okay, this is the third time I said for free. Okay, this is how we help the SMEs out there. Okay, and then of course there are other initiatives that we do in terms of assisting the SMEs out there in digitalization, in going energy efficient. For example, okay, if I want to explain this in depth, let me start with the SMEs who own their premises. Okay, because we understand there are certain SMEs who own factories. And then there are certain SMEs who rent shop lots and certain building areas that does not belong to them. For SMEs that have their own factories, that have their own buildings, okay, you can utilize your rooftop in maximizing or optimizing your electricity bills. How? By inquiring on how you can install solar panels on your rooftops. Okay, we have two offerings to SME. One is outright purchase, and number two is zero capex. Again, zero capex. I don't say it free, but you don't have to pay anything, a single cent upfront, if you want to install solar panels on your rooftop. Okay, so you sign agreement with TNB. Okay, we size up your solar on your rooftop, and if the size is feasible enough, meet the economic scales and everything, we can offer zero capex options to the SMEs out there. For example, most of the SMEs, if I'm not mistaken, you are on tariff B nowadays, right? For in excess of 200 kilowatt hour, you are paying 50.9 cents per kilowatt hour. With solar, you can pay maybe what? Less than 40 cent per kilowatt hour, and that is what? 20% savings in the portion of solar that you are installing itself. Okay. And the most important thing, if you are on zero capex program, you can immediately enjoy the savings without putting any money upfront. But of course, if you have the capacity, if you want to go for outright purchase, by all means. Okay, this is how you can save your electricity and going green at the same time. Okay, this is where we help the nation in reducing our carbon emission.
This is very interesting, Razif. I'm very curious about this question. You see, you being an electricity provider, utility provider, you're giving out electricity to people, but yet now you're helping people to save energy. You know, this is something that is, I find it very interesting. And now that you're even talking about solar, of course, again, I want you to help me to clarify this, and even to our listeners. Why are you doing this? I mean, in what basis? And then in what stance? Again, being a utility and an electricity provider company, and now you are telling people to save their energy and use, consider using, different tools to help them, including solar power, etc. How does this work?
Okay, I got this question all the time. Okay, my answer would be very consistent, and I will start with this. We in Tenaga Nasional Berhad is a government-linked company. You can say our main objective is for the well-being of the people. That's number one. And then number two, we need to serve the nation. How we serve the nation is by providing solutions that can support the green initiative of the government in reducing carbon emissions. That's number one. Yes, you can see it doesn't jive, right? We are selling electricity, but at the same time, we are asking people, please conserve your energy, please save your electricity bills. Okay? The simple math would be that our income will reduce. But of course, our objective is more than making money. We are building the nations. That's number one. And then at the same time, in business point of view, okay, of course, that's metaphorical. Some people say, alah, ini TNB cakap saja ni, dia kata kan. Okay, in the business point of view, to business people, SMEs, owners out there, okay, why we invest in solar, why we dive into solar, why we are providing electricity to you by grid is because if we don't do it, other people will do it out there. We can't stop companies out there. I think there are almost 100 companies out there can provide solar solutions to you. So if we don't start now, if we don't evolve now, okay, we will die standing, and we don't want that because we don't want. We want to TNB to stay relevant in order for us to serve the nation better. So that's the reason why we dive into this kind of business. Not only solar, energy efficiency, energy monitoring system, all these solutions will reduce our so-called regulated income. Okay, when we say regulated income is the amount of bills that the people like you, me, and Firdaus is paying on a monthly basis to TNB. That's only our homes, not related to our business. Okay, business people also will pay less to TNB in terms of regulated business. But what we get in return is number one, less carbon emission. Number two, people are more aware regarding their consumptions. And then number three, we can go digital, keep abreast with people all over the world. For example, companies, investors, especially from Americas and Europes, they are now more concerned regarding green energy supply to their suppliers. So if they are coming in with investments to our country, they will start. How is our green initiative? How is our sustainable development goals is going? Is it still in infancy stage? Is it going on track? Or what can we offer them in terms of green energy? Because this will go back to their target in terms of their ESG goals, environment, social, and governance goals. So going green is not is not an option for us as a nation now. It's a requirement in order for us to attract FDIs to Malaysia. So that's my answer to you. I can go on and on and on, but our podcast is only 45 minutes.
Yes, yes, I think this is very correct. It's not just something, it's not optional anymore. I think being a responsible government company, this is where you take the lead in terms of ESG and sustainable goals as well. I think this is something that I'm very fortunate to work with companies like you all that are looking into this progressive. We're talking about the future, right? Not just what to make money now. What is the things that to make money now, but it's also what is it going to be for the future. Firdaus, do you have anything to add on to this?
Of course
yeah.
not.
Oh yeah, it was a very lengthy explanation by Mr. Razi just now. I'll just add, a few more things lah. On top of what Razi has been saying. Actually, helping the user to use energy more efficiently will also help TNB in terms of generation of electricity. The electricity that we provide to our to Malaysian nowadays comes from coal generator, hydroelectric, and a lot of solar. So if we don't manage the consumption of our electricities, if it keeps on increasing year by year, so that will require TNB to build more power generation site. But to build power generation site that requires heavy investment first, and then secondly is its impacts towards the environment. For example, hydro dams, hydroelectric dams. So we cannot do. We have a very limited spaces, very limited resources. So if we are, let's say, if the electricity increase uncontrollably, that require us to develop more dams. So where are we going to develop more dams to cater those demands? So that's why it's very important to make sure that our customers, the electricity users, the consumers are consuming the electricity efficiently, so that we don't have to invest in all of this.
Okay, that's very interesting to hear from you as well about this. So generally, are we on track? Malaysia, the whole nation's progress in this sustainable energy, and in terms particularly for businesses, do you think we are on track? We are on time, or we need to speed up? We need to reach out to more people. What is the status now currently?
Okay, talking about the status, talking about progress for us as a nation going green, going low carbons, we can say that we are currently on track, but more need to be done, especially on the commercial industrial sites or segments, in order to speed up things, in order for us as a nation to move ahead in terms of low carbon initiative. For example, now electric vehicles is getting tractions in Malaysia. Okay, TNB has just struck a deal with DHL, if I'm not mistaken, more than a month before.
Yes.
In order for us to provide the EV charging ecosystem, EV charging infra for them to use electric vehicles to deliver goods to people in Malaysia. Because they have a global targets to change their fleet to 60% EV by 2030. So we, TNB, will support this by providing all the infrastructures that is required in terms of chargings, in terms of the platforms for them to charge, and then to work together with customers like DHL in order to plan out the charging station along their busiest route, so that not only them can benefit where their yellow vans can charge, but other consumers, other people also can use while they are not using it. So that's one of the initiatives in the infancy stage where we are going green. Okay. But regarding solar panels and everything, a lot of companies in Malaysia, a lot of government entities in Malaysia has already embarked on solar panels, be it on business scales, be it on POC, proof of concepts. Okay, so this is a good move, good steps for Malaysia as a nation in moving towards green energy, and at the same time, some multinational companies who have businesses in Malaysia, they have started purchasing renewable energy certificates in order to boost their ESG ratings. So I can say we are on track, but a lot need to be done. Why? This is the main element for us to attract FDIs from multinationals, especially from Americas and Europes in the future.
Very interesting. I think, again, this is what we talk about, in terms of future, and particularly what we progress now, what we do now will affect whatever that is going to come soon enough. I think it's a very great conversation about this. And I think the next question is something that I felt many people may not have known or they are curious about before we come to the end of the podcast. Including now, actually doing this podcast only, I realized there's such term called phantom energy. So a lot of people may have already put up some of their concern that a lot of offices, their retail outlets, restaurants, or whatever it is closed, due to MCO. But the electricity bills are just as it is as before. So maybe before we go on, could it be what is phantom energy? So can you tell us what is phantom energy? And then could it be because of that? And what can be done for the benefit of our listeners to reduce this phantom load about phantom energy?
Okay, can I take this one, Razif?
Of course.
Okay.
This is your expertise.
Thank you. Okay, so what is phantom energy? So unlike water, electric leakages or wastages often occurs unnoticed. So you don't know when you have electricity leakages. You can know when there is a water leakage, when you can hear the waters droppings on the floor. You can hear the tap tap tap, and then you can also see that the area is wet. So there is water. So you can see it when there is a water leakage. But for electricity, when there is leakages or there is wastages, you cannot see them because they are invisible to the naked eyes. Some modern appliances or equipment could still be leaching electricity even when they are turned off. This is what we call phantom energy or a vampire energy. This energy that is being leached out or leak without your notice. This is why it is very important. This is what maybe is doing. We are doing energy management or energy monitoring system. This is the reason why we built this system, because being able to track your energy consumption is very, very important. So I've highlighted previously that this will also tells you, let you know what are your equipment that using the most electricity or an area of your building, be it your production area ke, office ke, ataupun your warehouse ke. So being able to do that, to monitor them, is very, very useful for any organization. So this can be done, by using an energy monitoring system.
Yeah.
It tells you like explain like how much each of part of your building is, or appliances or equipment is using energy. So even during MCO, when you are not in the office or in the workplace, but you can monitor because the system allows you to monitor your energy online. So part of your digitalization agenda. So we'll know exactly, whether there is still electricity being consumed in the building. So you might not want to, just simply turn off the incoming, because there might be some equipment that still needs to be run 24/7, such as
Correct.
refrigerator. So that's why it's very
Fridge,
important.
yes.
Yeah, very important for you, to have an energy monitoring system. Okay.
So do the businesses need to purchase this kind of system, or they just need to engage for this kind of services to check constantly over 6 months, 1 year, or do they actually need, like when you say this monitoring device, do they need to like purchase it or how?
Okay, this monitoring system, the basic part of monitoring system is you can do it free of charge by using my TNB. Now, as soon as
Yes.
my TNB, we are moving into they're deploying smart meters. So smart meters will actually allows you to monitor your energy consumption at a daily basis.
Yes.
I think in real time down to the, so you will know exactly, you don't have to wait until the end of the month to know that, you actually have been wasting a lot of energy.
Problems. Yes.
So being able to do that at a daily basis is already very helpful, but
Yeah.
being able to do that in real time down to minutes level, it is much more useful. Right, so this can either be done, or if through my TNB is free of charge. But if you want such a detailed system, yes, there will be cost involved. But but at maybe we provide our system. Customer can purchase it outright or leasing, or it can also be a part of what we call this the energy performance contracting offering. So what does it mean by this? Or in short form, it's called EPC. So what does it mean by this is that Rajiv did touch about this a little bit previously, where we provide capex free solutions. TNB, we ourselves will if there is an organization that needs our services, so we'll go in and provide a capex free solution where we'll do the energy monitoring. We'll help you to monitor your energy and at the same time provide you with the solution. So if we detect there are any opportunities that we can implement at the premise, so we will propose a relevant solution for the building owners to take advantage of it.
Thank you so much for the explanation, Fidel. So let me just wrap up, right? So there's two ways if SMEs or business owners they want to find out about this, they want to study about their energy consumption. One, they can walk into Kedai Tenaga, speak to any of our customer service officers there, or can they reach out to Mavi, right?
Yep. They can also reach out to Mavi and inquire about our energy management system.
All right, so for those who wants to know about Mavi, we will put it in our comment description below. You can go and view how to reach out to Kedai Tenaga. There's 120 of them nationwide, or if not, you can speak to Mavi in terms of some of these ideas and all this awareness and even ways, or actually to study energy consumption in your premise, building, etc. So finally, I think again we've spent almost an hour together. I think it's something very important, and it's actually an eye opener for me. Like I said, TNB moving forward quickly, not just by I think this is a misconception that we just have to receive bills from you every month. But looking at that, actually TNB is doing so much more behind the scene for the community. So one last thing before we end. So what are some Razif and Firdaus? Maybe we'll go with Razif. So what are some of your personal advice to our SME owners out there, in terms of efficiency, in terms of energy consumption, and also moving forward?
Okay, I have two actually, because all of SME owners, they are house owners as well. Okay, I start with the what you call energy saving tips for the homes as well.
Sure.
Okay, this is what we can say can become phantom or vampire. What you say just now, phantom energy or vampire
Phantom
energy.
energy.
Without us noticing it, sucking our money. Okay, one regarding the aircons, if possible, your split units. On a monthly basis, you just go up there, just clean up the filters by yourself. It is easy. Okay, believe me, it helps in terms of electricity consumption that is being used by the aircon itself. Of course, how it improves the efficiency of the aircon. When the aircon is clean, the efficiency is higher. As simple as that. Okay, and then number two, switch off the lights, switch off the fans, or switch off any electrical appliances that you are not using it. As simple as pulling the plug of the TVs, pulling the plug of the chargers when you are not using it. This one, if being done individually, it will not have a significant impact. But if you do it on a collective basis, if you have a wife and 4 kids at home, just like me, okay, train them whenever you are not using on this area, this room, okay, switch it off, okay, pull your chargers from the plug, switch it off. TVs, when you are not watching it while you are on your phones, okay, switch it off. Okay, pull the plug off. When you do this as a whole at your home, you can see significant improvement in terms of your electricity bills. Some of the customers reports up to 20% reduction of electricity bills by just doing this implementation, and it's free. Okay, and then number two, be on my TNB. Why be on my TNB? Because if we are changing the normal meters to smart meters now, we are completing in Melaka, and now we are rolling out in Klang Valley, KL and Selangor. So like my colleague Firdaus mentioned just now, when you are on smart meter and you have my TNB, you can monitor through my TNB web portal your consumption, okay, your house consumption, your premise consumption. So you don't have any surprises. For example, last PKP, there's a big hoo-ha regarding electricity hike in terms of bill, because why? We can't provide bills to you for 3 months. And at the same time, people are crammed at their own premises, people are crammed at their own house and expect the bill to be the same. No, definitely no. Okay? There will be an increase. You will use aircon more, and people will start to bake more at the kitchen and whatnot. And you cannot expect the bill will be stagnant. It will increase. But with smart meter, with my TNB, you can see the trending. Oh, for this month, my usage is increasing. Okay, I need to take actions. Okay, so this is on the domestic front what you can do. So for the business owners, okay, take control of your electricity. Apart from convenience part, be on my TNB, register your business on my TNB. Okay, you don't have to find parkings, you don't have to go to Kedai Tenaga to settle bills on a monthly basis. You can even inquire the services through my TNB, change of tenancy through my TNB web portal. This, if done collectively, can give significant savings in terms of your OPEX as well. Okay, and at the same time, of course, if you want to stretch it further, if you of course, monitoring of your building, if you are on smart meter already, is free with my TNB. But if you want to know which equipment is so-called electricity guzzler, you can start to implement or install the energy monitoring system provided by MIVI. Okay, you can know your aircons consume how much energy, your bread maker consume how much of energy, your freezer, your fridge consume how much of energy, your heater consume how much of energy. So when you can monitor, you can take actions. Okay, we are not saying that by installing this thing you can get savings immediately. Okay, but you know the potential of savings that you can take action of. Okay, That's from me. Okay, over to you, Faith.
All right, thank you, Razif. So, my advice would be, if to SMEs, business owners, or organizations, I think what's important is for you to have a good energy policy set in place. You know, if anyone knows about energy efficiency pyramids, at the bottom of the pyramids that form the base of the pyramid is actually energy management system. So that's why I always highlight about the energy management, because if you want to use energy efficiently, it is very very important for you to have a good energy management system within the organization, to have a good energy policy. For larger organizations, the kilang-kilang, big organization, they have an energy manager to look into the energy consumptions of their premises or of the organization. But for SMEs, they may not have energy managers, so that's why it's very important for them to have this awareness, so that they can even actually start to manage their energy by their own. Some example of a good energy policy is like set up a policy to make sure that you have a good energy monitoring system to track your consumption, setting up a 4 or 5 stars ratings equipment procurement policies. Like the higher the stars, the more efficient the equipment is. So that will actually help in the long run, help you to save a lot of energy. On top of that, there is also a policy such as 24 degrees Celsius temperature policy. So these are actually a part of energy policies that you can maybe start off with in order for to make your organization or SMEs or businesses to be more energy efficient. That's for me.
I think thank you so much, Firdaus and Razif. I think I really enjoyed this conversation, and personally, I learned so many terms and so many knowledge in this discussion. And again, I think there's so much that we can learn over 45 minutes to 1 hour, which I think we have actually went more than an hour. But for those listeners here, if you need more information, again, do not hesitate to speak to our friends in Kedai Tenaga, or even go onto your My TNB app, and even to our friends in Mavis. All right. With that, thank you so much to be part of this, and hopefully TNB, will be seeing you physically as well after all this pandemic. We are during BINA roadshows. We'll be going out. We'll be reaching out to you again. But stay. Our last wishes is I hope you guys stay safe. Continue to take your vaccines and be at home. I think with that, we'll wrap up today's podcast. Thank you so much, Razif, again. Thank you so much, Firdaus. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Dato'.
Bina.
Take care. Stay safe.